So the Blue Devils are going to touch it first here at home. And Dave Clawson's Deacons, who beat Syracuse in their final home game last Saturday night at Truist Field, have won 4 of their last 7. Kick here to the near side, and this is Stenson at the 15-20. Jalen Stenson across the 30, out near the 33-yard line, and a pleasure to be with Taylor Davis today.
Well, guys, head coach Mike Elko has implemented plenty of changes in his first year, but one of his top priorities has been the turnover margin. Last year, this team was last in the country, and this year, 3rd in the nation, leading the ACC in turnover margin. He said it's about the facts. You can look and see the direct implication turnovers have on the results of games. They've won the battle in 7 of 11 games this season, and against this Wake Forest offense, that will be the key for them today.
Well, and Taylor, the plus 14 number is just like almost it takes your breath away in comparison to a year ago. Jalen Coleman is the running back with Riley Leonard, and Coleman going to get the carry right side on first down, and he picks up 9 to the 41. Isaiah Wingfield, Kobe Turner, the Richmond transfer on the stop.
And you saw Jack Burns get out in front, the center, with a lead block. This is an excellent running football team. Wake Forest is going to have to be good against the run. They're going to slow down this Duke offense.
Duke is 3rd in the ACC and the nation's top 40 at 191 yards a ball game. And the Blue Devils employ a lot of guys to run the rock. You see Coleman. We expect to see Jordan Waters, Jaquez Moore. Even a freshman, Terry Moore, is available today for offensive coordinator Kevin Johns. Leonard on a quick toss to the field side. Coleman will turn it up. And a big another first down run out to the 48-yard line. Deion Bergen, the tackle for Wake Forest. The Deacon defense, under the direction of Brad Lambert in his first year returning to Winston-Salem as coordinator. Roddy, they're 13th in the league in total number, 9th against the run, 13th against the pass here this year.
Yeah, and that run number, as you said, overall, they're 9th, but when you look at yards per play against the run, they move up just slightly, only giving up 3.8 yards per carry. I don't need to continue.
Blue Devils, 1st and 10, out near midfield. Leonard for his first throw of the day, and this is Jordan Moore, who last week caught 14 balls for almost 200 yards and a touchdown in the 2-point loss at Pittsburgh.
Jordan Moore was in a quarterback competition with Riley Leonard coming into the year, but he's emerged as their most explosive receiver, he and Jalen Calhoun. The game that he had last week, though, was an absolute explosion, and Kevin John's been really high on his potential, but his development and understanding of that position over the course of the season, I think you saw that come to fruition last week.
The tight end off the formation to the left, single receivers Hagans into the boundary. And in motion, that's Jalen Calhoun for Leonard and the Blue Devils. Riley Leonard, another long throw, and that catch is made. And that'll be a Blue Devil first down at the Wake Forest 41-yard line. Long throw and catch to Jordan Moore, and the Kalen Carson tackle out of the Wake secondary. And here's a look at the sophomore from Fairhope, Alabama, who might have been better known as a basketball player than a football player a few years ago.
The stories in the Mobile area about him on the basketball court are legendary. And oftentimes this year he's shown that athleticism from the quarterback position. One of the best rushing quarterbacks in the entire country, keeping a running list of secondaries he's run away from over the course of the season. He's often one of the best, if not the best athlete on the field.
A 7th in yards per game rushing in the ACC, 5th in rushing yards period is Riley Leonard. And here's Jalen Coleman on a 1st and 10 give. And he'll pick up 2, maybe 3 on the play before Chase Jones, the junior linebacker in his 41st game, makes the stop for the Deacons.
That's sort of the first down type plays that Wake Forest needs to have. This is a Duke team that's going to play at one of the slowest, if not the slowest tempos in the ACC. You see them taking their time as they get up to the line of scrimmage. They're also one of the best first down teams in the ACC. They give up the least number of tackles for loss, least number of sacks, so they stay on schedule.
You see Jordan Moore in motion. Snap to Leonard. Deacons bringing 4 here. Leonard going to wind and shoot it for Calhoun. first down inside the 25 to Jalen Calhoun. There's a flag on the play.
Riley Leonard has all kinds of time. There's a flag in the backfield. Yeah, you could see it on the right side of your screen. Chance Lytle with a hold. I believe they called that a hold. They could have called it like a rodeo around the neck. You see 78 there. Just grabs Kobe Turner around the neck and pulls him down. That's a hold that you got your money's worth on that one.
Jordan Waters going to check into the ball game. There is the Colorado transfer, and noted opera singer Chance Lytle.
Yeah, fantastic opera singer.
16th collegiate start for Lytle today. The last 5 have come at left guard, by the way. Here is Leonard after the Blue Devil penalty. Escaping to his right. And he will get inside the 40, out of bounds at the 39. So he was able to break through 1 or 2, Roddy, and now make it at least somewhat reasonable here on third down.
I honestly think that defenders are often floored at how elusive and quick he is in the open field. I mean, you saw he and Ryan Smenda right there together in the open field. He just gives him a little move, gets to the outside, and it does make it a third and very manageable. And if you're Mike Elko, I think you're telling Kevin Johns, hey, you get it to 3 or less, and we're going to go for it here, which affects the play call that Kevin Johns will go with.
So third down and 8. Snap to Leonard. He'll shoot it to the near side. That's Hagans right in front of the first down stick. The great catch and a first down for Duke on the opening drive against Gavin Holmes.
Well, Wake is healthy on the back end. Gavin Holmes being back, but there's just too much cushion on this. Sahmir Hagans does a nice job of just sitting it down right at the sticks. Riley Leonard with a good delivery. And this opening Duke drive just continues to go. And it's ticking time off the clock. That's sort of the way that Duke wants to play. These long, prolonged drives keep Wake's offense on the sideline.
Yep. 3 receivers, the tight end, Finney. That's Calhoun in motion. Jordan Waters straight ahead. Not much, if anything, there. Smenda, who Roddy spoke of a moment ago. 47th start, 55th career game for Ryan Smenda from Orange Park, Florida. A fixture for Wake Forest defensively.
Seems like the last decade.
Yep.
Wake has so many players likely playing in their last regular season game for the Deacons that have been there for forever. I mean, when you talk about teams that have aged and that COVID has helped, Wake Forest has to be at the top of the list with the number of 5th and 6th year guys they have.
Second down in the full 10 for the Blue Devils. And Leonard against 4-man rush in trouble, and he'll be sacked. That is Jasheen Davis, who in his last 3 games has been on a tear for Dave Clawson's club, and he's the guy that gets to Leonard first.
There he comes, Jasheen Davis. You see him right here, one-on-one with the left tackle, Graham Barton. Just a little inside move. Dives at the legs of Riley Leonard. Just a really good job of pushing up the field, getting Graham Barton to overset, opening up that inside and cutting underneath. And that's film study because you can see Graham Barton's a really good left tackle, but if you threaten him up the field, he can leave the inside wide open.
Yeah, Graham Barton is ticketed for some All-ACC honors next week. Heck of a play by Jasheen Davis. So here is 3rd and long, and Leonard trying to find something. It's Calhoun inside the 30 and towards the 25 before he is knocked out of bounds by Gavin Holmes. So there's all sorts of discussion here about kind of 4th down and analytics and things like that. But Dave Clawson and Mike Elko, yeah, a little bit of it. But in this particular case, Mike Elko is going to bring Todd Polino on to try the field goal. Now, Polino has been the regular Duke kicker, Roddy, since about mid-October. His longest is 39 at Boston College.
Only one attempt over 40, and he missed that one.
Yep, and this is 42.5 for Polino. And the kick is away, and Todd Polino has put Duke in front 3-0. Blue Devils take nearly 8 minutes off the clock here in the opening period and kick a field goal for the lead.
Field goal was picture perfect. exactly how they would have drawn it up in the Duke locker room.
Wake Forest averages about 19 yards a return on kicks. Keyshawn Williams was deep for the Deacons, but no return. So here comes Sam Hartman. 44th career start today for the young man from Charlotte. 5 career school marks, Roddy, and he is he's chasing legendary ACC figures with 104 career TD passes. He's 3 away from tying the great Tajh Boyd. And then last week, closed the home schedule in style with 4 scores and 331 yards in the win against Syracuse.
It's one of the all-time great careers in the history of the ACC at any position, but doing it at a school like Wake, the way they built this thing has been special.
Yep. First down, they're going to hand the ball to Ellison. Made a spin move and will fall forward to the 29. Cam Dillon, one of the guys introduced here before the ball game in his final game with the Blue Devils, grad transfer from Columbia, making the stop. He's played 34 now collegiate games. Second down and 6, and the long mesh. Hartman going to make the throw and was looking for A.T. Perry crossing, but they were offline incomplete. Had Perry kind of at the midline, Roddy, and then Taylor Morin a little deeper down the field, seemingly on the same line.
Yeah, the contrast in styles in terms of tempo is going to be stark. Wake Forest, the fastest tempo team in the ACC.
Already 3rd and 6 for the Deacons, who hit 45%. They're 4th in the ACC, 29th nationally, but only 11 of their last 27. Hartman from the pocket. And the throw, more in the catch. He'll be measured for the first down to the 36 before Jalen Stinson shoved him back.
Duke brought a blitz there. Ended up being one-on-one with Morin and Stinson with a lot of room to work. Sam Hartman kind of had a pick play to the other side, got to choose his side, chooses to go to Morin for the first down.
Perry and Morin here to the near side. That's Taylor Morin through the formation to the boundary. 1st and 10, Hartman deep in the pocket, waiting and waiting and waiting, and can't pull the trigger, and Dwayne Carter posts the sack for Duke.
Well, in order for that to happen, you have to have great coverage on the back end. I want you to watch the receivers. I mean, there is nobody open. There's nobody up here, nobody down there. So Sam Hartman just patting the ball, moves up right into the waiting arms of Dwayne Carter.
Second down, 13 after the sack. Hartman kind of a back foot throw, got it to A.T. Perry at the 38. Datron Young, the tackle for Duke.
In order to stop this Wake Forest attack, you have to collapse the pocket around Sam Hartman and play really well in man coverage, win those one-on-one battles.
Donovan Green to the wide side, bunch look here to the boundary. Hartman from the pocket again, looking for Whitehart, the tight end. Terrific catch at the Duke 31-yard line by Blake Whitehart. He had Shaka Hayward draped all over him.
It's a great pass. Duke ended up going with cover 2 with man underneath. Whitehart right up the seam over the outstretched arms of the linebacker in front of the safeties. Great throw by Sam Hartman.
Here is Hartman again in rhythm now. Going to hand to Ellison. And he will bang inside the 25. It'll be a pickup of right at 7 on the play.
And just watch this pass. I mean, Hartman over Shaka Hayward, who's like 6'3", 6'4". And right before Darius Joyner's able to get there, that is a fantastic throw from Hartman.
33-yard throw. Now Hartman going to call his own number, follows a block inside the 15, thrown down at the 14, maybe the 13 by Brandon Johnson, who was in the ball game playing nickel. The mastery, Roddy, of his ability to run this offense the way he does at the tempo, I don't know that we've seen it at a higher level.
Well, I just think the evolution of this offense has sort of coincided with the career. I mean, he has done as well in it as anybody.
Here's Ellison, and you see Hayward and Justice Ellison just kind of come to a standoff at about the 13-yard line. What makes him so good? We talk about the long mesh all the time, but I feel like there's a lot more about his game.
Yeah, well, he finds windows, and he's not a tall quarterback, 6'1", and he throws the ball from so close to the line of scrimmage that you have to find windows. There's innate accuracy. There's typically very good decision-making in there as well.
10th play of the drive is 2nd and long for Wake Forest. Here's the long mesh, and this is Ellison fighting toward the first down. He'll be a couple of yards short. Darius Joyner, who has come over in a grad year from Western Illinois after originally starting his career at Jacksonville State, makes the play.
Surge on that offensive line on that last play was tremendous. Get wholesale switches on the defensive line. Wake Forest brought in some big people. Duke now scrambling. Mike Elko is going to call a timeout. Honestly, I mean, he was going to be given time for the substitution. The referee was holding the ball. I think just the confusion probably unsettled Mike Elko.
Yeah, Coach Elko not happy with the time it was taking, so the Blue Devils will burn one of their three here just ahead of the 3-minute mark. We're still on opening possession for Wake Forest. How about this ball game? 3-0. Blue Devils in front, but Wake threatening when we continue from Durham.
On a Fansville homecoming by Dr.
11th play of the drive, and it is 3rd and short as we rejoin you. The Polino field goal, the only marker of the game, and look at Ellison take off for the far side. First down, touchdown. None of that slow, lazy mesh that time, Roddy. Justice Ellison just broke free.
Just a straight handoff. Ellison doing a nice job of extending towards the end zone and just beating Cam Dillon. Dillon tries to push him and throw him off balance. That ball's across. There's the knee down. Touchdown.
So a 6-yard touchdown run. Justice Ellison's 5th rushing score of the year. And the Deacons have taken the lead after their opening possession. Here is the young freshman from Charlotte, Matthew Dennis. And the kick from Dennis puts the Deacons in front 7-3. 11 plays, 75 yards, just ahead of 4 minutes, and Wake in front in Durham. The mesh play, typical run play you think is going to go north and south, and all of a sudden Ellison kind of goes out the back door to the field side and gives Wake the lead.
Yeah, but how about the 2 drives? Duke on a 11-play drive to start the game that covered 7 minutes and 53 seconds. Wake 11-play drive, 4 minutes, half the time.
So here is the kick from Dennis, and Stenson from inside the 5. Tries to work back toward the center of the field. Now cuts here to the near side. A flag's been thrown. 2 flags now. As Jalen Stenson's taken down around the 29-yard line.
You're going to get either a hold or a face mask, maybe.
Veteran referee Jeff Heiser is our white hat today, Roddy.
One of the best the league has to offer right there.
Yep.
Jeff Heiser always does a fantastic job.
And discussion amongst his crew here. I think we may have had 2 incidents to adjudicate here.
But either way, we're going backward. The team in black is going backwards.
Yep.
Play, holding, receiving team, personal foul, face mask, kicking team, number 2. Those penalties offset.
All right, so while we replay the down, let's get to Roddy Jones's Food for Thought, brought to you by Food Line.
Well, for Wake Forest, they've got to win the turnover margin. They've lost the turnover margin in 4 of the last 5 games, 3 of those being losses. They won it last week against Syracuse. They've got to do that and then win first downs on defense. That's stopping the run against Duke. And then for Duke, obviously you have to run the football, both with your running backs, and Riley Leonard's legs are going to be big, and then collapse the pocket around Sam Hartman. That's what people who have had success getting Wake Forest to turn the ball over and getting sacks in the backfield have done. It's the collapsing of the pocket around him, so there's nowhere to escape.
Did you see anything in your film study of Hartman against teams like NC State, to a degree Louisville, where there was a common ground as to why he struggled against those particular type defensive units?
Yeah, I think in the fronts especially, they did a really good job of occupying the running backs and pass protection and then just winning one-on-ones. And those 2 defenses have really good players. So that obviously helps a lot.
End over end kick again. This is Stenson off the foot of Dennis, again from inside the 5. And Jalen Stenson makes a couple of moves, and guess what? He's across the 35, and Duke again with a nice return from Jalen Stinson of 34 yards, and the Blue Devils setting up shop in pretty good field position.
He is so explosive and just has a great feel when he gets one-on-one. I mean, that's putting the dude in the matrix right there. That's giving him that what's happening in the open field.
Tell you what now, this young man's a junior from Opelika in his 35th college game. Makes plays. Blue Devils from the 38. Riley Leonard to work. And he has got the sophomore Jaquez Moore getting his first carry of the ball game. Toward midfield, knocked out of bounds in Deacon territory by Kalen Carson.
Watch the flow of the offensive line. It looks like it's going to be zoned to the right, but then the running back is on that side, so he's got to come back. You get over pursuit by the defensive front. Really nice play design by Kevin Johns. Sort of differing keys going on there. The flow of the offensive line's going one way, running backs going the other. And he has a nice little cutback lane.
Jaquez Moore, 14 yards. He did not play last week at Pittsburgh. Had 82 yards and 2 scores in a Friday night win at Boston College. Here's Leonard into the flat. Jordan Moore eludes a tackler. Flag down on the play. Moore cuts upfield. 2 markers there. Cole Finney was trying to help him with the block and may have tagged the Deacon in the back here. So there you go. Another check on the Blue Devil tight end here from Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's right there. Finney just gets beat inside, and instead of letting Isaiah Wingfield through, kind of grabs him and pulls him down.
So I think back to the 42 at the Blue Devil end of the field is where they'll set up for first down.
This isn't where Duke wants to be. We talked about them staying on schedule, and part of that is first down success. Got to sort of climb back and try and get there by third down at this point.
Moore stays in as the running back for Leonard. Shoots it down the field, and Jordan Moore the catch, and he'll turn the corner and get to the Deacon 43, 42-yard line, 15-yard throw.
This is a guy who played quarterback last year, and watch him just come back through the window. It's a really nice job of feeling it out, finding the soft spot, coming back down the stem, and then you could see the explosiveness in the open field, the ability to make people miss and get up the field. And look, they're right back on schedule now. 1st and 20, 2nd and 5, just how you draw it up.
3 catches, 26 yards for Jordan Moore, coming off that 14-catch, 199 effort last week at Pittsburgh. Final minute of period 1, and the Deacons trying to get Duke stopped in their half of the field, but won't get it done here because Jaquez Moore picks up a first down to the 32-yard line, 11 yards on the run. Evan Slocum, the safety, makes the stop for Wake Forest.
Wes, what's the main highway here in the triangle?
I-40.
Well, I-40 opens up on the right side of the screen. I mean, look at this. You could drive a Mack truck through there, and Jaquez Moore explodes through it.
Actually, 85 is not far from here either. It might be 85.
I mean, take your pick, honestly.
Take 85 to Washington if you like.
Depends on where you're going.
40 gets you to the beach or the mountains, depending. Jordan Waters is coming to spell Jaquez Moore. So Duke's already shown you 3 running backs. Here's Leonard on 1st and 10. Going to hand the ball to Waters. Trying to break free. He gets wrapped up. He'll be thrown down. That's Wayman, the sophomore defensive end, who's been pretty productive the last 3 games for Dave Clawson. And that will be the final play of period 1. A fast 15 minutes at Wallace Wade in Durham. Wake leading Duke 7-3.
Sonny Dykes at TCU, those are the best first-year coaches, the jobs that they've done this year.
No question. Leonard, a back foot throw to the far side. Calhoun, a catch and step out of bounds. Here's the other thing about Mike Elko. He'd never been a head coach until he took this job. Sonny, no offense to Sonny Dykes and what he's done at TCU. That's terrific, too. But Mike Elko never been a head coach. Graduated from Penn, grew up in New Jersey. You know the connection with Dave Clawson. But my goodness, to wait this long and to get the crack and to have the success right out of the gate speaks to patience of his own journey.
It certainly does, and he was obviously in a great position at Texas A&M, and they have suffered without him.
Single receiver to the boundary is Hagans. 3 here to the field, and Leonard. Hagans on the crossing route. Got it at the 20. Nice block. Calhoun. Hagans, a touchdown. Lightning in a bottle is this redshirt freshman from Philadelphia, Roddy.
When we talked to the Duke coaches and Riley Leonard before the Temple game, game 1, we asked them, who's a guy that you think could emerge over the course of the year? And each and every one of them, Kevin Johns, Mike Elko, and Riley Leonard, all said Sahmir Hagans. He had a great spring, and over the course of the year, he has shown how explosive he can be. You said it, lightning in a bottle. Looked like everybody else was standing in quicksand.
Leonard 7 for 7, 80 yards, and the touchdown on the drive. Duke has gone back in front in the opening minute here of quarter 2. Watch 85, Roddy.
The speed, the explosiveness, and he puts Duke up by 3. Him on a 3rd and long, too. If you are a defensive person, you like defensive football, I think you may have come to the wrong place.
The wrong game, yeah.
You might want to reconsider. But if you want a good one, back and forth, this is going to be the game for you.
Charlie Ham from Westminster in Atlanta will kick it away to Keyshawn Williams of the Deacs. Williams has had a 38-yard return to his credit this year. There will be no return here. And Wake's going to start from his 25, but back to the touchdown.
So Sahmir Hagans is going to be to the top. It's just a mesh concept that Riley Leonard does a really nice job of being patient and letting Sahmir Hagans come open. And then after the catch, what turns good plays into great plays is downfield blocking. Watch Jalen Calhoun, a great block on the corner, which allows Sahmir Hagans around the outside to get in the end zone. It's a really nice job of protection. Riley Leonard being patient, and Sahmir Hagans finishing with help from Jalen Calhoun down the field.
Tight end, 3 receivers. Christian Turner in the backfield with Hartman, who's going to shoot it to A.T. Perry. That'll be a first down on a 16-yard throw to the Wake 41. Datron Young in coverage for the Blue Devils. Torian Perry, 42nd game, 152 career catches, 27 touchdowns in his Deacon career. And now Turner is going to, Christian Turner going to keep it on the mesh and run for almost 10 on the play, just shy of the 50-yard line. So 2nd and short coming up for Wake Forest, who's in full gear here. There's Hartman handing again, and a first down run for Turner to the Blue Devil 46. Shaka Hayward was the first guy in a white helmet to meet him.
The patience and the pace of these backs is what makes this run game, because you're not seeing a ton of surge. It's just kind of locking up and taking the defensive linemen where they want to go.
Hartman on 1st and 10. Going to fake it, now shoot it, middle of the field. That's Williams the grab, 33-yard line.
You get a couple of runs, and then that same mesh action brings those linebackers up, and there's nobody there for Keyshawn Williams coming inside.
Here is 1st and 10 again, and nothing there for Turner, the junior from Buford who started his career at Michigan. Dwayne Carter, who's already posted a sack, now gets a tackle behind the line, if you will, although maybe a step. So here's Hartman now. Watch it. Every once in a while, cards will flash up there, Roddy, but Sam might be calling this one a little bit on his own from a field perspective at times, right? Here's a quick throw and a smart play there.
I don't know. That might be intentional grounding.
They're going to think about this?
I mean, there's A.T. Perry's inside the logo.
Right.
Between the hash and the numbers.
Oh, now it is. You're right. Jeff Heiser drops the marker. Duke collapsed with V.J. Anthony and Shaka Hayward here.
So A.T. Perry's the only receiver that's even close. He's not paying attention. He's right here. That's the closest receiver. Ball goes out of bounds. This is a good call by Jeff Heiser and his crew. There's no receiver anywhere in the area. He's in the pocket. didn't quite fade far enough out, and it sets up third and very long.
Yep. Almost 20 for the Deacons here. Duke by 3, and now Wake trying to pick up third and long, and Hartman with time and threw it into harm's way briefly because Young was there on a cover of Perry, the intended receiver.
And this is going to set up one of the things to watch today, Wes. Wake's top 2 punters out, but you can see the play by Speedy Young breaking on A.T. Perry's got no threat around, just breaks on the route and is able to break it up. But Matthew Dennis, the kicker, is also going to serve as the punter today.
Yeah, Ivan Moore, Zach Murphy, both on the shelf for the Deacons. So Matthew Dennis has not punted since his days at Myers Park. And he's just going to drop and flip one high in the air and out of bounds near Trooper Taylor and Mike Elko down near the Duke end of the field near the 19 or 18-yard line. So, hey, the more you can do, Dennis. That's what they say at the league. Back after this. And with more on Shaka Hayward, or more on Jamion Franklin, here's Taylor Davis.
Yeah, guys, for the Franklin family, senior day today is just a little special. Actually, his parents, James and Latoya Franklin, are in attendance here today for the first time this season. Unfortunately, Jamion's father, James Franklin, was diagnosed with cancer when Jamion was in high school. He actually donated stem cells to his father to help with his treatment. Now, he is cancer-free, but unfortunately, a couple years ago, his mother, Latoya Franklin, was diagnosed with breast cancer and is currently undergoing treatment and continuing her battle. So they have been unable to be in attendance this year to watch their son in person. But a few weeks ago, Jamion told me that they were aiming for senior day. That was their goal. And they are officially here to watch him play. He told me it's changed his perspective to see 2 of the strongest people he knows in complete vulnerability. But he said, they have taught me how to fight. A really special day for the Franklin family.
Oh, you're not kidding. Thank you. Turner and Jones combine on the stop there of Jalen Coleman. And you want perspective, Roddy. 5 in the Blue Devil defense has got it for you.
I mean, he's an older guy on this team, transferred in from Notre Dame. So not only is there the perspective of being at 2 of the top institutions in the world, but then you see what your parents are going through, that motivation that it provides, and just the overall maturity that it forces you into. It's been a big help for this Duke defense, and also we wish his parents the best going forward.
Absolutely. Blue Devils are 2 of 3 on third down, leading by 3. Leonard trying to pick this up, and does to Calhoun. Big throw on the far side, and across midfield goes Jalen Calhoun before Brendan Harris, who had the pick 6 last week for Wake, shoves him out of bounds.
Well, it's the delivery by Riley Leonard and Jalen Calhoun. You see him there in the slot on the right side. One-on-one in the open field absolutely leaves Harris in the dust. Jalen Calhoun is one of the most explosive playmakers in the ACC out of that slot position. And when you get him one-on-one with that much space to work with, it is a hard task for any defender to keep up.
31-yard throw. Leonard is 9 for 9 and 117 here in the first half.
I'd say that's pretty good.
I'd say so. First down and 10 at Wake's 47. Riley going to flip it here to Coleman. And he will get a yard or so. Jamal Martin, the stop.
Jalen Coleman. Number 25, Jamal Martin Jr.
Looks like Coleman's coming out. Jordan Waters is going to spell him.
I would say if you talked to Mike Elko right before this game and asked him to draw up how the first half would go, this is very close too. His touchdowns would have certainly been the thing that he would have wanted the most, but the amount of time his offense has been on the field plays right into Duke's hands.
Yep. That's Waters orbiting around the formation. Leonard going to load and throw, and wide open Calhoun inside the 10. Touchdown Duke.
Touchdown
46 yards, Roddy, to Jalen Calhoun.
Once again, it's protection, letting the routes develop down the field, and this throw is right on the mark. Little wheel up the boundary from Jalen Calhoun, a little tackling optional inside the 10-yard line, and Jalen Calhoun is in the end zone. It has been an absolute onslaught from this Duke offense early in this game.
11 for 11 is Leonard, 163, 2 scores. The point after is good. 5 plays, 80 yards in 3:02. And for a team taking its time, they sure are benefiting on the back end here.
It was Sahmir Hagans before. This drive was all about Jalen Calhoun. Wide open a couple times, plunging into the end zone to put the Blue Devils up by 10.
Same order, same time.
To a 10-point lead on Wake Forest, 17-7. Deacons have won the last 3 in the series, 4 of the last 5 that dates back to March of 1889 when they first played. Charlie Ham will kick it away to Wake Forest. Deacons got to be feeling like, hey, we might need a little get up and go here. Down 10, and there'll be no return from Keyshawn Williams, but the explosives from Riley Leonard continued. Last one to Jalen Calhoun.
Yeah, it's a really good play design once again by Kevin Johns and a good call against his defense. You're going to get a verticals concept with sort of a spray release. 2 coming across the field and then Jalen Calhoun, but the corner gets caught a little too far inside. And because of the player right here in the flats, then the flat defender can't sync with Calhoun. He just gets in that void. And then down the field, you got to tackle the football, at least give yourself another chance to play. But it's a really good play design with that verticals concept.
Ellison was the running back, and boy, Hartman delivered a laser to A.T. Perry. All he wanted to take the deep shot for Taylor Morin. And Young was over there in coverage, so the Deacons do pick up 6 on the play. And now Ellison trying to find a bit of a crease. Will push it toward the 34. 3rd and short will be the next play with 8:35 to go. Roddy, we're getting the contrast now. It's starting to kick in. The 10-point Duke margin now. Wake's going to have to pick things up offensively here because you can't afford to punt. You can't afford to miss your turn, so to speak. And Perry will hold on to that one, going out of bounds against Young for the Deacon first down.
Yeah, when your defense isn't getting stops and the other offense is taking the air out of the football by holding it, those mistakes offensively are just magnified, like the intentional grounding we saw in the last series.
Yep, here is Hartman. Thought about the run, now going to shoot it. Taylor Morin, what a terrific catch. At the Duke 30-yard line, this redshirt sophomore is kind of in traffic with Chandler Rivers to haul that in for 30 yards.
So competitive with the ball in the air. Taylor Morin consistently fights. That is a fantastic catch in tight coverage.
So Hartman continuing to try and regain some momentum for the Deacons. Now wants to fire for the end zone and threw it behind and offline to A.T. Perry.
Watch this throw and catch by Taylor Morin. I mean, this is placed right on the helmet almost of Chandler Rivers. Morin with the strong hands. It's great coverage by Rivers. That's where you just pat the other guy on the butt, say good job, and go play the next play. Nothing more you could do.
Deacons with 3 receivers again. Hartman fakes the throw. Now wide open. Morin first down inside the 15. Middle of the field throw, and Brandon Johnson the stop for Duke.
Feels very much like getting these quarterbacks out of rhythm is going to be the entire dictating factor of this game, because if they have time, they're going to pick the opposing defense apart.
So here is Hartman on first down. Ellison's going to keep it. He'll pick up maybe 4 to the 10. Aaron Hall, redshirt freshman from Southern Durham High School, makes the tackle. There's a look at big 9'6". They're excited about where he might be headed as a prospect here. 6'4", almost 260 pounds when the season began. Hartman 9 of 12 for 130. And he's going to keep it here, and Sam will drift for a couple of yards. Anthony Nelson, the tackle. I'll tell you what, this Duke defense, and we told you about kind of the numbers. They're bottom 5 in the ACC in just about every team category, Roddy. But you feel like it's a unit that is got enough veteran presence, and maybe some guys are going to burn the extra year here, right? You know?
Yeah, well, obviously with COVID, it seems like everybody has eligibility left, and so it's sort of a decision on, do you want to move on or not? Condensed formation, though, for Wake Forest. A.T. Perry at the top of the formation.
Big third down play. Hartman looks, middle of the field, caught wide open. Donovan Green, the Wake Forest touchdown.
It was a drive that operated with surgical precision. Sam Hartman was fantastic. And man, this is a fun game because the offense is obviously really good, but the styles are so contrasting. That drive so quick for Wake Forest.
Matthew Dennis tries to draw the Deacs to within a field goal and does with the extra point. But Sam Hartman throws another log on the ACC fire. My goodness. Touchdown to Donovan Green, gets Wake back in the end zone. They trail 3. Dave Clawson and Wake Forest. And the Deacons are to within 3 as we rejoin you from Wallace Wade. And they're going to try and trap Stinson in the corner at the 3. And look at Jalen Stinson reach the 20 and no more. And that's a win for the kick cover unit of the Deacons. Let's take a look at our marathon drive recap, Roddy. And tell you what, it's Riley Leonard and the Blue Devil offense.
He has looked really good early in this game. Hit Jalen Calhoun for a big gain. A little dump off to his running back. And the way the ball has come out of his hand, he's been perfect so far. 11 for 11. This is the touchdown to Calhoun down the field. 164 yards. We still got 5 minutes until halftime. Riley Leonard has been fantastic. And that drive, those 2 drives, but the last 2 drives that we've seen from both quarterbacks have really been fantastic.
Leonard's got Jordan Waters with him in the backfield. And flips it to Calhoun on the sweep. And not much there. Well handled by the Deacons. Quincy Bryant, the linebacker. And now we got a flag out in the middle of the secondary. And I think we had some extracurriculars with Kalen Carson and also Sahmir Hagans.
There are 2 fouls in the play. Both happened. Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike offense, number 85. Unsportsmanlike defense, number 1. Those penalties offset. That is their first unsportsmanlike penalty of the game. Second down.
Second down, and let's call it 9 off the 21.
They're going to be right down here. The play wrapping up.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So apparently the discussion at Turkey Dinner got a little interesting.
I would say so. But when you get, so both of those unsportsmanlike conduct penalties are their first of the game. That's a way that these officials will sort of keep this thing under control as it gets a little chippy here on rivalry weekend.
Yep, under 6 to go. Leonard will miss, and there's a flag. Trying to go to Hagans, and Carson ran over the top of him and brought a flag.
Put another little extra log on the fire of that.
Bobby placed at the spot of the foul.
Of that battle that's going on between Hagans and Carson. I mean, this is no doubt, and this is just a guy who's playing emotionally, gets beat a little bit inside instead of breaking to the football. It was a little bit too far down the stem towards the receiver. Riley Leonard loves it. This is one of those games where you have to sort of contain those emotions. There's not a lot of juice in the building. There's always a lot of juice on the field when you get to the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Jaquez Moore makes it a 5-wide look. Leonard back across the middle. Moore, Smenda unlocked him, and it's ruled incomplete. If it hadn't been, Evan Slocum would have scored easily to the open end of the horseshoe. Wow, what a hit this is.
Smenda, number 5, top right of the screen, absolutely drills Jaquez Moore coming across the field. That's one of those, that's on the quarterback a little bit. You can't have your running back going into Smenda waiting. Ryan Smenda's been around for a long time, and he saw that coming from a mile away.
First miss of the day for Leonard in the throw game, by the way. Hit 12 in a row before the incompletion there. Now he'll pitch it, and Jaquez Moore will squeeze the edge for a couple of yards. Rondell Bothroyd, Roddy, makes the play for the Deacons. 40 in the gold hat. Has been shaken up here in the last third of the regular season.
He's been banged up, but played that one really well. Anticipated Leonard kicking it out and got out to the running back. And this is a big third down for this Wake Forest defense. You've got Duke in 3rd and long. It's time to get off the field. You're going to have Hagans and Calhoun to the top. Now Calhoun going to motion to the bottom. Looks like man-to-man coverage from Wake Forest.
That's A.J. Williams following Calhoun. Here is Leonard now in the gun. Looks, and quite frankly, Jaquez Moore never turned his head because Ryan Smenda was running right with him. Moore probably thinking about the play 2 snaps ago.
But it's the pressure that got to Riley Leonard that forced him into it. You're going to get a little loop around from the defensive line. The rest are going to slant this way, and it gets an open rusher towards Riley Leonard, so he has to get rid of the ball to go somewhere. It forces him to dump it off to the back, and Wake Forest is able to get off the field.
Porter Wilson drives it toward Taylor Morin. Inside the 15, first guy missed. Morin trying to find a crease, ran into his own guy, and will be brought down at the 20-yard line. So Sam Hartman and the Deacons with 4:37 to go, and come into the ball game, and what's Sam doing? He's lumberjacking it, Roddy.
Of course it is.
All-time passing record at Wake Forest, 12,340 yards. The most all-time touchdowns, 121. Now here's the ACC mark he's chasing, 104, and Tajh Boyd just a couple away now in the ACC record books. Of course, the legendary Clemson quarterback.
The beard was absolutely perfect for that beanie. That was great.
Wake takes over from its 20. Play fake to Cooley and a throw to Keyshawn Williams right around the 40-yard line and a first down.
These Duke defensive backs are going to have to be able to cover man-to-man these Wake Forest receivers because that slow mesh draws everybody up. There's just a ton of room behind them, and Sam Hartman has been on it.
20-yard throw. Play fake. Hartman steps up. Now a long throw to the far side, and look at those Keyshawn Williams. He kind of bobbed and weaved, and when he bobbed, he dropped the knee down at the 48, so it'll be 2nd and 2.
Should have zigged when he zagged.
That's it.
Should have faked left and gone right.
That's it, yeah. Bob and weave, zig and zag.
All the things.
Fake left, go right.
Yeah, apparently he faked himself out.
Here's Hartman. He's going to keep it. Whoa, big lick from Hayward. Trey Freeman was also the guy that wrapped him up, but Shaka Hayward, 42, dropped the lumber.
Yeah, Sam Hartman a little fired up after that one. Ooh, it is a big hit by 42. How about Shaka Hayward, who's his buy-in has been as big for this Duke defense, I think, as anybody. This Duke team as anybody, being a leader.
Yep. Here's Hartman, deep shot. A.T. Perry, the first down. Inside the 20. Brandon Johnson there, but another Hartman to Perry connection.
Well, you're going to get a corner blitz, which puts A.T. Perry one-on-one with the safety, Darius Joyner, just takes a bad angle and gets over the top. Or A.T. Perry's able to get over the top of him. Joyner should take an angle more over the top. Give the underneath throw. Don't let Perry go deep. But good job identifying the corner blitz by Sam Hartman.
Don't look now. The 5th best team in the ACC in red zone production has got a first down at the Duke 17 and a chance to take the lead here. Hartman hands to Cooley. And Quentin Cooley, the sophomore from Southern Nash High School down in Bailey, North Carolina, runs into Shaka Hayward after about 4.
When this Wake Forest offense is working at its best, they really make you pay for mistakes. I mean, you take one wrong angle like Darius Joyner did on that corner blitz, and they're going to be able to hit you for a chunk play to scare you out of doing it again. The skill that they have, the knowledge of the quarterback. I mean, Sam Hartman has seen basically everything over the course of his career. There's very little that fools him.
Coming up on 2 minutes left to go here in this first half. Hartman with time, back across, off the hands of Williams, incomplete. Stenson was there in coverage for Duke. Let's go downstairs, and here's Taylor.
Yeah, Roddy, continuing what you were saying about preparing for this offense, I asked Dwayne Carter that, and he said, if there is a game that you have to be sound in your technique, it's this one. He said it's so predicated on what Sam sees and the decisions he makes in time. If you're peeking out of your gap, if your eyes are in the wrong place, he will take advantage of it. He said if we can make them one-dimensional, that's really the only way, because otherwise it's all through his lens.
Well, here comes third down, Taylor, and 7 for Wake Forest. Hartman loops for Perry and incomplete. Pretty good battle going on with Joshua Pickett. Hartman now 13 of 18, just inside 200 yards.
Watch what they do to A.T. Perry, though. It's basically a double team. You get Brandon Johnson underneath and Joshua Pickett over the top. Probably an ill-advised throw by Sam Hartman. Although with A.T. Perry, you're kind of just trusting him that it's going to be his ball or nobody's ball, and ends up working out, and that it was nobody's ball. But a nice job of Duke bracketing A.T. Perry.
Matthew Dennis is 11 of 13 on the year's longest is 46. This is 32 to tie, and it is good. So with 1:50 to go, 10 straight points by the Deacons, and the ball to start the second half, Roddy. But heck, with 1:50 to go, no telling what Duke can do, right?
It's basically an eternity in this game, it feels like. 1:50, the way these two teams have been able to move the ball. But we've seen a couple of third down stops, and I think that's big for these defenses going as we approach the half. Being able to get those stops and build on it, I think will encourage both coaches.
Well, don't forget, coming up at the half, Auto Owners Insurance halftime report. First half recap of here. South Carolina has upset Clemson today, 31 to 30.
It is this weekend has taken a lot of the momentum out of the ACC championship game.
And Louisville and UK playing at Lexington this afternoon. All that and more coming up at the half. Jordan Cornette hosts, of course, the Auto Owners Insurance halftime report.
Clemson losing at home to South Carolina. That 40-game win streak comes to an end, and just the mistakes by Clemson today. A fumble on a punt return at the end of the game by Antonio Williams. Phil Maffa had a fumble on a kickoff return earlier in that one. Too many mistakes.
So the 32-yard field goal by Dennis, and Terry Moore will ask for the fair catch. So Duke will start off its 25. Mike Elko has 2 timeouts, Roddy. Dave Clawson has 3, and I say that because both guys have got a pretty good feel for the clock here, and both can maximize it maybe going down the stretch.
It's a really interesting game of cat and mouse. If I'm Duke, you throw something short that's going to be completed, something that gets the clock running so that even if you go 3 and out, you're not giving Wake with enough time to get the ball back. But Wake, you get to second down and long, then Wake needs to start thinking about calling their timeout so they can give their offense some time.
5th possession of the first half for Elko's offense. Starts at its 25. And here is Leonard trying to buy some time, and Riley to the 30-31 before Chase Jones takes him down on the play.
Yeah, I like that play call. It's safe. It's going to keep the clock running. Now you get into a little bit of your tempo so you can get something going.
Leonard, a quick throw to the far side, and Calhoun from the slot, the first down out to the 38.
All right, now you're in full go mode. You got that first down. You feel good about not giving Wake the ball with a lot of time left. You still got both timeouts. Now you're in full go mode.
Moore steps up to a slot. And here is Leonard now. I think he wanted to take a shot. Now going to throw it over the head of Hagans, incomplete. Jalen Calhoun's got a 100-yard first half, by the way, on 6 catches.
There he goes. Mike Elko, though, I mean, he's got to come down with that on the sideline. Mike Elko.
Easy, Roddy.
Well, he's got to catch the football.
He played in the secondary at Penn.
Hey, we got to see them Ivy League hands. Jalen Calhoun, though, has shown the Ivy League of the South hands.
The Ivy League hands of Mike Elko. Wait till he hears you said that.
When Riley Leonard throws the ball away and it comes right to you, I'm going to need you to come down with that, Coach.
2-by-2 look here for Leonard. 71 seconds to go. That's Hagans in motion to the slot at the bottom of the screen. Leonard, long throw. Here's Jordan Moore, midfield first down. Tried to get out of bounds. Isaiah Wingfield, the tackle, with 1:03 to go.
And with over a minute left, I think it was fine for him to stay in bounds. Check out the arm strength, though, by Riley Leonard. That ball's from the hash to the opposite sideline, brings Moore back towards the line of scrimmage, but a nice first down pickup.
And now all of a sudden, Wake Forest burns the timeout. 54 seconds to go in this opening half.
But they wasted every possible second before Duke was going to be able to snap it, before Duke was going to snap it before they called that timeout.
Right. So, more to come at the break here with JC and the guys at our ACC Network studios. A little bit of upheaval in college football. Of course, everybody knew the big one in the Big Ten. But, Roddy, kind of click them off here. Number 3 beat number 2.
So the question is going to be, how far does Ohio State move from number 2? That was a sound defeat. Michigan dominated the second half. You got Clemson losing, so the ACC is eliminated officially from the college football playoff conversation. And honestly, I think that helps Ohio State.
Yeah.
When they're going to be a one-loss Big Ten team. So if you have some chaos ahead of them with a TCU, a Michigan, and LSU, I think LSU is going to lose next week. But if now TCU or USC goes down, I think Ohio State's right back in that conversation of getting in. Honestly, because you run out of teams after that.
Jordan Waters in the backfield with Leonard out of the Wake timeout. Leonard, a long throw. That's Hagans inside the 30 against Chase Jones. Riley Leonard has shown you a little pop in the cannon here in the first half.
It's a display of arm strength on the past 2 throws. He has been absolutely on it. This is as well as he's thrown the football all year.
19 yards there, 1st and 10. Leonard trying to get one going to the locker room. Oh, what a catch! Hagans reached down right around the waist and grabbed it right-handed against Evan Slocum.
It's an absolute laser from Riley Leonard. And how about that grab and the concentration by Sahmir Hagans?
It's not Calvin Johnson against NC State, but it's in the neighborhood. Jordan Moore pulls it in, and we get another stoppage of play. Moore lost his hat. Hagans has got 75 yards on 5 catches, and this thing is unbelievable.
His other hand never touches the ball. He secures it. Kind of corrals it first, pins it against his leg. That's how he secures it.
Wow.
What a great catch on a 2-minute drive.
Taylor?
Well, guys, I have to say something I've observed down here on the field this first half is the confidence of this Duke offense, both on the field and on the sideline, and it has steadily built as the game has gone on. And it takes me back to what Coach Johns told us this week. He said, I almost don't want the season to end at this point because we are such a young offense, and every game, every situation, it feels like these guys, it's clicking for them, and they're starting to put it together. I feel like you're even seeing that acted out in this one.
Yeah, you are, Taylor. And I have been on a young offense. Wes called the games for a young offense that I was on that just gained confidence over the course of the season. And when you get in games like this and you have success moving the ball down the field so quickly, I mean, you just want the ball back because you feel like it doesn't matter. Every single time you're going to go down and score.
Right.
Pistol set here for Leonard and the Blue Devils. Here's Riley. Dancing from the pocket to his right, going to throw one over the head of Hagans through the end zone with Smenda pressuring. And back, by the way, to Kevin Johns for a moment. A couple of years at Memphis, right? I mean, kind of gathered things. He's got a varied background. We've talked about that before. And he brings a lot to the table here. But it had to be a fit with what Mike Elko was looking to do from his defensive background.
Yeah, I think the marriage of those two things and the evolution. I mean, talking to him in the Temple game about what they wanted to be tempo-wise, I don't think they would have imagined being the slowest tempo team in the ACC. I think they would have wanted to be a little bit quicker, but that didn't fit what they were doing. This, however, a big third downs, both Hagans and Calhoun to the bottom of your screen.
3rd and 7 in a 17-all game. Leonard batted in the air and incomplete. Looked like Chase Jones, who's had a pretty productive first half for Wake Forest, got a hand in the pass lane.
Right up the middle. It's a good push by the Wake defensive line. When you don't get to the quarterback, find that hand and try and meet it. And it's a nice job batting that ball down. And again, another third down stop for one of these defenses.
Yep. So here is Polino now. This is right at 32 yards on the near hash. And he knocks it through with 14 seconds left. So 42-32, the field goals for Todd Polino from the Cannon School in Cornelius, North Carolina. A couple of field goals for him, and all of a sudden Duke's got a 3-point lead in late stages of this first half. Don't forget, coming up tonight at 8 o'clock, we'll cap the football weekend in the ACC prime time from the Hard Rock. Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck, Kelsey Riggs. They've spent the day at the beach. They've had a lovely time, Roddy. And they get ACC primetime football tonight with Pitt and Miami. Don't forget the huddle before, during, and after tonight on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Looked like a beautiful day in South Florida for the folks before they get to the Hard Rock for the ball
Certainly
game tonight.
There's worse places to spend the couple days after Thanksgiving than Miami. Although not quite as fun as Duke and Durham.
Polino, the field goal, second of the half for the Duke kicker. Wake's got 2 timeouts left, and here's Keyshawn Williams. 20, spinning toward the 24, 9 seconds to go.
It's been quite the first half. And both of these quarterbacks have been excellent. Sam Hartman, 13 of 18, 197. Riley Leonard, 17 of 22 for 219. And that would be the biggest surprise to me of the first half, is Duke has thrown it a lot more than they've run it, and thrown it very effectively against the Wake Forest secondary that's been struggling.
Yep. So 9 seconds left, and Hartman's going to touch a knee, and the Deacons are going to go to the locker room, trailing by 3. But Mike Elko wanted 5 possessions. He got his 5 first-half possessions.
Yeah, and scores on the vast majority of them. I think he'll be pleased with the way his offense performed. The thing is, though, I mean, you're going to have to score touchdowns consistently against this Wake team in order to win it. But defensively, they came up with a couple of big stops.
As he requested in the first half, and Duke's got a 3-point lead. Charlie Ham kicks it away to Keyshawn Williams, and there'll be no return. And Wake Forest will start from its 25, Taylor.
Yeah, guys, I spoke with Dave Clawson coming out of the locker room at halftime. We started offensively, and he said, look, the only times we've been stopped are when we're stopping ourselves, like that intentional grounding call. He said, Sam is going to be Sam. We just have to settle in and not stop ourselves. Now, defensively, he said, look, I said it this week, Mike found himself a quarterback. Riley has been efficient in this first half. We have got to force him outside of the pocket and get them off schedule. But keep in mind, guys, they are shorthanded in the secondary, and he said some of those mismatches have caused some problems.
Lights are on as Wake Forest goes to work, and that is Justice Ellison for maybe a yard or 2. Shaka Hayward, Dwayne Carter kind of clog up the running lane. There's a look at Hayward.
Neither team has really gotten the run game going. Both teams with 50 yards rushing in the first half. Yards per rush, both under 5 to start.
There's Hartman again, and long mesh, and there is Ellison one more time across the 31, so it'll be across the 30 to the 31. It'll be 3rd down and 4. And Wake was 5 for 7 on 3rd down in the first half.
Both of these teams struggled, both these defenses struggled to get off the field on 3rd downs.
That's Morin in motion. Hartman against a pressure. Look, Sam tries to elude the rush, now steps back. Here he is to his left, throws, and tried to dial Whiteheart up. But the blitz package offered up by Rob Smith and Jess Simpson worked there, Roddy.
Yeah, this is one of the first times we've seen them actually get to Sam Hartman. Shaka Hayward comes up the middle. Jalen Stinson from the secondary. Dwayne Carter eventually finishes him off. Sam Hartman, frustrated, wasn't on the same page with his tight end, although I'm not sure there was anywhere for Blake Whiteheart to go. The defender was on the outside. And this Duke defense opens up the second half with a 3-and-out.
Yep, first 3-and-out of the ball game, posted by either school. And here is the second Wake Forest punt of the night. And it will be a fair catch asked for by Calhoun on Matthew Dennis's second collegiate punt. And here's Riley Leonard trying to get it cranked up at the Duke 33 and a 3-point lead for the home team.
He'll try to continue what he did in the first half.
Wow.
I mean, Sahmir Hagans and Jalen Calhoun were basically uncoverable. Jordan Moore pitched in as well. We've seen the full complement of explosive players at the receiver position for Duke. Question is, do they go back to the run game and try and establish that? They've been one of the best rushing teams all year.
Take the tight end out, plug Daryl Harding also into the formation. Going to get 3 to the field for Leonard. He'll throw that way, and this is Moore trying to make the first guy miss, and that won't do it for Smenda. No gain on the play. The big linebacker, Ryan Smenda, makes the tackle for Wake Forest, Taylor.
Yeah, guys, I mean, this Wake Forest defense has struggled against athletic quarterbacks this season, but they are without a key piece, like Coach Clausen mentioned to me at the halftime. Defensive back Malik Mustafa is out again in this game, and in weeks prior this season, coaches point to him as the guy against dual-threat quarterbacks. So today they're turning to guys like Jalen Garnes and A.J. Williams. It's kind of an all-hands-on-deck without one of their key pieces against Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
Great point. Just the flexibility to have multiple guys to spy makes you more multiple. When you only have a couple, it can be much more predictable.
Here is Coleman trying to get going, and that time Jasheen Davis makes the play. Bothroyd's been injured here in the last third of the season, and nobody has emerged more than Jasheen Davis from a production standpoint for Wake Forest.
Only a sophomore from Georgia, Snellville, Georgia, has really thrived in his enhanced playing time. We just saw Wake go 3-and-out offensively. That Duke team was able to get off the field on third down. Now Wake will look to do the same thing. Jalen Calhoun is lined up in the backfield next to Riley Leonard.
Yep. He'll come to the slot here at the near side with the 6'4 receiver Harding. And now all of a sudden we've got a penalty.
Ball start. Number 85.
And that's going to be on Sahmir Hagans, as Roddy told you in the package as well. So it'll be at the 29. So 3rd down and 14. It would figure the way the first half went that both teams would kind of just fizzle out here on their opening possession, but Leonard will try and save it here. Pressure coming, he'll throw near side. It was looked for in the neighborhood of Moore, but Holmes was in coverage. Meanwhile, Crespi, the defensive tackle, freshman from California, was bearing down on Leonard here.
Well, and also Smenda, watch 5 in the middle of your screen. He's now out, but as Riley Leonard rolls out on some of these 3rd and longs, he's done a great job of spying Riley Leonard. There's been a number of times where Leonard has had a little bit of room as he's broken the pocket, but Smenda has spied him, kept him behind the line of scrimmage, and forced him to throw.
So here is Porter Wilson to punt it away. Just 3 minutes in, and a fair catch will be called for by Taylor Morin. So that'll get us to a break. Yeah, just like the first half, pair of 3-and-outs, Roddy. Still a 3-point lead for the Blue Devils. Boston took the job from Bowling Green, and they're continuing today. Here's a play fake, and Hartman off the 29 and drills it into traffic. And is that Donovan Green? It is. Close to a first down. Taylor, it's been fun to kind of ask these guys about it, but nobody was willing to play the story game with us, I felt like, this week.
Well, you know, it's all business, Wes. But I do think it's interesting what Coach Elko pointed out. He said we're not only 2 coaches in the same conference now, but we're essentially 2 coaches at very similar programs. These are smaller, private, academic institutions that these 2 are now at the helm of. And whether it's recruiting or the fact that after the elimination of divisions, these 2 are going to play every season, it adds to the rivalry.
There's Hartman, had it batted in the air as he cut it loose. Boy, he got hit. And on the play was Darius Joyner. Now the ball got picked up and no whistle, so Brandon Johnson played it out. Now Dave Clausen thought Hartman was hit as he threw it. No flag, no whistle. Dave Clausen says incomplete pass, and Jeff Heiser. It's called a fumble on the field here.
It looks to me like he was throwing it when he got hit. Okay, so the ball has to be coming forward. I think it is. I think the ball has started moving forward when he gets hit. The mechanics, though, of it were well done by this team. We're going to get a review. Jeff Heeser and his crew will see if this thing stands on the other side.
Well, ruling on the field was a fumble. It went under review, and the call was reversed to an incomplete pass. Roddy, I'll look at it again here.
Yeah, and I think it's a good call. You're going to see that arm come back and then start to move forward, and even when he gets hit, the ball is still in his hand until that very last instant when it's slung forward. I agree with the fact that they called this incomplete, although the mechanics of it I thought were well done by this officiating crew led by Jeff Heeser, letting the play out. Obviously on the field they believed that it was a fumble, but eventually getting it right.
Christian Turner in the backfield with Hartman goes as an incomplete pass at 2nd and 10. Duke trying to bring pressure from the perimeter, and Hartman throws into that pressure and gets A.T. Perry in front of Young over there near the weight bench at the 46. It's a throw of 5, so 3rd and 5 will be the down here.
And in the first half, we noticed that he's got that pinky taped up. He's been shaking his hand a couple of times, especially after that hit. Watch out for it.
Deacons trail 3, 3rd down here. Hartman from the pocket, buying time, back foot, downfield, and in and out of the hands of Brandon Johnson. Anthony Nelson, 93, got around Hartman to force this back foot throw that almost resulted in a turnover.
Well, Brandon Johnson almost had a scoop and return earlier, but can't quite bring that one down. In the pressure up the middle by Aeneas Peebles. And then on the edge, forced that throw that was really dangerous.
Yeah, Aeneas Peebles, a junior from Knightdale, North Carolina. A backup to Dwayne Carter in that defensive front for Coach Elko. So here's Dennis now with the 2 punters on the shelf. Matthew Dennis just throws one up in the air off his right foot, and it'll go out of bounds near the Duke 20, and that's where the Blue Devils will play.
This thing has sort of calmed down offensively. You saw Duke's defense crank up the pressure a little bit on Sam Hartman. Now their offense has the second possession of the second half, but much different than what we saw in the first half.
Don't forget, basketball coverage continues on ACC Network. Coming up this week, the 15th annual Women's Big Ten ACC Challenge starts Wednesday and features a top 10 matchup. Number 4, Ohio State. Jeff Walls, number 10, Louisville Cardinals. 7:30 on a great night of basketball for you on ACC Network and streaming live on ACC Network. 14 games over Wednesday and Thursday for the challenge. Last year, the ACC won that challenge 10-4, by the way. First down for Duke off the 24-yard line, and Jordan Waters on the carry.
Number 7, Jordan Waters.
Maybe a yard or so.
14-0 for the ACC Big Ten Challenge this year.
14.
Clean sweep?
14. I don't quite think that 14-0 will be in the cards.
Okay, who do you think's going to lose?
I don't know yet, okay. But I don't think 14-0. If 14-0 happens, there'll be a lot to write about. I can tell you that.
Yeah, there will be.
Yep. 2nd down and 9. Here on this final weekend of play in the ACC in football. Of course, 2 ball games yesterday, 1 a conference game, 1 a double overtime contest at Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill with NC State, Carolina. Here's 2nd and 9 for Leonard, firing inside, and that's Calhoun the catch, and a first down to the 35-yard line before Smenda makes the tackle.
Riley Leonard throwing darts against zone coverage has been one of the more impressive things of this game. There's been numerous times where he's had to find a window and just been able to fire it, give his receivers a chance to make a play afterwards. I mean, he has picked apart zone. He's picked apart man. He's just picked apart everything.
7 catches, 111 yards, and a career high for Calhoun. First down and 10. And to the left side, and this is Moore picking up 3 on first down.
Moore, number 20 on the carry.
So Jaquez Moore. Roddy, I tell you, the combination of running backs, we talked about Wake Forest in the first half. We've seen Cooley, Ellison, certainly, and also Christian Turner. But Duke's got Waters, Jaquez Moore, Jalen Coleman, and they were excited to get Terry Moore, a true freshman, back on the field tonight in some spots.
There's a lot to be excited about for this running back room going forward, especially with the youth of Jaquez and Terry Moore.
Here is Leonard now on 2nd down and 7. And Jaquez Moore breaking free and will push it across the 45 and a first down. Out near the 46, Ja'Cory Johns makes the tackle for Wake Forest.
Watch this matchup right here. There's a late stem, and Jack Burns just does a really nice job after they stem to put a guy right over the top and then slant towards the direction of the play. Burns just does a nice job running him by and creating a hole behind him. That was one of the things that we talked to Brad Lambert about. How do you mess up a center who came in during the middle of the year and may not have as much experience as the other guy? He said, look, you give him a bunch of different looks. You try and stem one way, slant the other, and that time Burns handled it well.
Yeah, Burns has kind of been a utility guy in some ways for this offensive line. Here's a breakaway run. Jaquez Moore through the Wake Forest secondary to the Deacon 30-yard line before Gavin Holmes makes the stop. Great running by Moore, Roddy.
It absolutely is, but it's great blocking by this offensive line. Just look at that hole. I mean, there is an entire lane there where Jaquez Moore can get through. And then the tackling from Wake Forest today has left a lot to be desired. A shot in the hole, Jaquez Moore bounces off and then gets up the field for a big play.
He'll check out. Jordan Waters into the lineup now to join Leonard. Hagans, the lone receiver, to the bottom of the screen. 3 receivers to the field, including Cole Finney, the tight end. Leonard going to throw behind the line, and that's going to be measured out of bounds back at the 38. It'll be a loss of almost 8 on what amounts to a lateral off the hand of Riley Leonard.
I think they were trying to set up a throwback to Riley Leonard. Remember, Jordan Moore, former quarterback. Watch the bottom of your screen. Sahmir Hagans is running off. Riley Leonard's fading back, and Riley Leonard might be the best athlete on the field. If he catches that in the open field, it didn't look like there were going to be much of anybody over there, but missed opportunity for Duke.
Yep. And a loss on the play of 8. Back to the 38. Blue Devils lead by 3. And Leonard just on a straight snap dumps it to Calhoun at the 30, and he got pushed back immediately. Jalen Garnes, the safety.
Another one of those situations where Wake's in man and zone coverage and Riley Leonard on the same page as his receivers. And now you're in a situation where if Duke gets to 4th and 4, certainly 4th and 3, you're going to think about going for it. They have been a high percentage go for it team in plus territory with 4th and 3 or less. So Kevin Johns, you don't have to get something past the sticks necessarily.
Duke's 3 of 7 tonight on 3rd down. They came in at 41% on the year, 15 of their last 34. Leonard throwing for Jordan Moore, and it's caught. Touchdown. I'm not sure the catch is not better than the throw, but they're both pretty good, Roddy.
Well, the catch may be worth a nickel, but this was an absolute dime of a throw. Jordan Moore, I mean, this is great coverage. You can't defend a perfect pass. There's absolutely nothing that anyone could do about that. Isaiah Wingfield frustrated, but Jordan Moore finishes an absolute masterclass of a throw by Riley Leonard.
So Moore's got another touchdown catch. It's his 5th of the year. Leonard has now thrown for 3 in the ball game, and Duke back to a 10-point advantage.
They don't get much prettier than this, Wes. You drop it in the bucket. Riley Leonard, you should be fired up. That was an absolute beauty.
Jeez. 15. Now the Duke lead. And the kick by Charlie Ham toward Keyshawn Williams will not be returned. Deacons from the 25, Roddy, after Leonard's latest piece of art.
I mean, you can't look at this throw enough. Riley Leonard just trusts his receiver, and this throw, the thing that Jordan Moore does well on this is he kind of keeps Isaiah Wingfield on the inside and gives Riley Leonard space to the outside to throw the ball. That's why you run that route from that place. But And you couldn't have walked and placed that ball any better. Riley Leonard has been absolutely fantastic and has really outdueled Sam Hartman.
Justice Ellison's come in the ball game. Here's the first down play off the 25 for Hartman, stepping up, and it's Blake Whitehart the catch after a gain of 7. Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, back to Riley Leonard, that's what the coaches rave about with him, right, is his confidence and competitive nature. And Coach Elko said he rises to the moment. If you put him against some of the top-tier quarterbacks in this league, he matches them, just like tonight.
There's a throw, and the catch is, this is Jaeger Bull. I said Whitehart a moment ago. This is the Rice transfer from Corpus Christi on the back-to-back catches for the Deacons.
It's a great name. But going back to what Taylor said, I mean, Riley Leonard rose to the occasion when he was facing Jalen Daniels, rose to the occasion when he was facing Drake May. And Sam Hartman's been good, but Riley Leonard's been better.
Here is Hartman to his right. He will tuck and run, and Sam going to slide down before he takes the hit from Chandler Rivers, the freshman out of the Duke secondary. They'll measure it to the 49. It'll be second and short for Wake Forest. Deacons will, it's a good thing they're comfortable playing quick, Roddy, because that's going to be the mode of operation here.
Yeah, I mean, they've got plenty of time left. We're still in the third quarter, but you can't miss your turn too much more. You're going to have to come up with some stops.
Yep, Justice Ellison will pick up the first down on the ground. And really, that's what this has now become. How many stops can you get, right?
You start counting possessions, too, honestly, the way Duke has played on the offensive side.
1st and 10. Hartman guns it for Perry, and A.T. Perry will make the catch shy of the Blue Devil 32-yard line against Young's coverage.
A.T. Perry at 6'5", he's so much fun to watch because he's so smooth, such strong hands with the ball in the air. His ability to manipulate his body, just great body control.
Here is Hartman again, long throw. This is Moore in the catch. And Taylor fights inside the 20 toward the 17. Pickett there for the Blue Devils. And just like that, Wake's in the red zone.
Duke has been very conservative with their coverages on this drive. We brought a lot of pressure on the last one, but really all zone 3- and 4-man rushes here.
Yep. Here's the snap. Hartman against a 4-man pressure. Sam to his right and throws it beyond the reach of Donovan Green, incomplete. Well, you look at the way they line up from a receiving standpoint. Perry came into the ball game with 62 catches. Jamal Banks is not playing today. He's got 39. Morin 38. Williams 36. Donovan Green's been in and out of the lineup. He's got 33. And the touchdown count is crazy. Perry's got double figures with 10. And here is Hartman looking now. Throws and almost intercepted. It hit Dillon, the linebacker, right in the hands. And he couldn't hang on.
This is the second one that should have been picked off from this Duke defense. And turnovers have been an issue for Sam Hartman in the second half of the year. This is just a poor decision. He sees Morin in the end zone, doesn't account for the underneath player, Cam Dillon, and that should have absolutely been an interception. Sam Hartman got away with one.
10-point game, and now third and the full 10 off the Blue Devil 17. Hartman throws, caught, touchdown. Taylor Morin, his 7th TD catch of the year.
Duke's got to be kicking themselves. You have an opportunity to get a turnover in the red zone. Can't come up with it, and Sam Hartman comes up with the throw. Just a seam by Taylor Morin. No one carries it. There's nobody over the top either. Right play call at the right time, but Wake Forest got away with it. Duke missed an opportunity.
17-yard strike. Matthew Dennis adds the point. Inside 3 to go, Roddy, and we're down to a 3-point ball game at 27-24.
And you can't give Sam Hartman more bites at the apple, or else he's going to make you pay for it. This was an easy pitch and catch. Taylor Morin wide open in the end zone. And Duke showed pressure on that, ended up dropping out of it, going into his own coverage, and just didn't account for the seam.
Hartman 4 of 7, 62 yards. Second touchdown throw of the day, 106 now in his career, just one off the 107 set by Tajh Boyd, another number 10 legend in this conference.
It's always cool when you have these guys who play so early and so well. For so long, it feels like we've kind of watched Sam Hartman in a lot of ways grow up.
Yep.
He's put together one of the most incredible careers in ACC history, and he's done it through adversity. I mean, this is a guy who got benched for Jamie Newman, who got hurt his freshman year, who had the blood clot issue earlier this season, and yet he's still been able to do what a lot of people didn't think was possible.
The kick is relatively short, so Terry Moore going to give this a crack, and back across the 20-yard line toward the 30 goes Terry Moore. So a relatively short kick from Matthew Dennis. And Duke going to scrimmage off its 31 here with 2:53 to go in the third.
Now the question becomes, how do you slow down Riley Leonard? And I think the easiest way is going to be getting some pressure on him. They've done a good job of containing him and not letting him get out to run. Ryan Smenda's done the vast majority of that. Smenda not in the game right now.
Yep. So here is Leonard, who's got Jordan Moore in motion off the top. And he will push it here to the right. Pressure coming, and he'll be huffed out of bounds by the linebacker Chase Jones. And actually, it'll be a loss of 1 back toward the 30.
It's going to count as a sack. I call those the old Eric Wood sacks. When we used to be with E. Wood on the side, when he was on the sidelines with us, when a quarterback ran out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage, it goes down as a sack. E. Wood used to, man, they used to drive E. Wood crazy. It's a former center.
Yes, it did. Yeah, it did. It was like, oh, man, that's a good memory. Finney, the tight end, in motion today. Total yardage, by the way, in this game is even until the throw to Hagans. And Sahmir Hagans picks up the first down out to the 47-yard line. It's a throw of 16 and a first down. Tackle made by Deshaun Jones.
One of the first RPOs, you get a little counter action. It brings the linebackers up, and Hagans is right behind him. There is absolutely no one in that void because you had 2 pullers coming from the backside. Riley Leonard reads it and makes the delivery. It's one of those easy reads. The middle's closed, which means safety in the middle of the field. You pull it and throw it. The middle's open. 2 safeties back. That means you got numbers in the box. You hand it off.
Jaquez Moore is in the backfield with Leonard. Riley going to take a deep shot looking down the field for Jordan Moore, and it's incomplete, and now a flag has come in from in front of the Wake Forest bench against Kalen Carson, I believe, here for pass interference, but it was thrown, if you will, by the trail official, Jeff Easer.
There is no foul pass interference. Second down.
Now they're going to pick up the marker.
Interesting. I wonder what the discussion was that had them pick up the marker. There was certainly contact late in this route. He kind of stumbles into him. I agree with the no call there. As Carson's running down the field, he kind of stumbles. They may have gotten their feet tangled up a little bit, but I didn't think there was enough there for pass interference. It's a good no call by the officials.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 with about 93 seconds to go here in the third. Duke leading by 3 in the football near midfield. And the sophomore Leonard wants to throw again. Flips it out to Moore. Jaquez midfield and a big lick. Flying through the air was A.J. Williams. Redshirt sophomore from Bamberg, South Carolina. Watch this play.
A couple of linemen out in front. And then from the secondary, that was kind of high.
So 3rd and long with about a minute to go.
The Wake Partisans getting pretty fired up for this 3rd down. Their offense just got something going. Opportunity to get off the field here.
4 of 8 on 3rd down tonight's Riley Leonard and Duke. Leonard straight back, pressure coming to his left, throws and overshoots Hagans, incomplete. Plenty of customers back there to help him, Carson and Martin in particular for Wake.
But the pressure up the middle from Kobe Turner, that's what really caused it. Riley Leonard didn't have time to sit in the pocket, and when they've been able to convert these 3rd and longs, that's what's been able to happen. You see Zero coming through and doing a nice job. He and Kendron Wayman being able to force Riley Leonard out of the pocket, get into a scramble drill, and get off the field, get the ball back to this offense.
Porter Wilson on to punt.
Kobe Turner's been a great addition, and after transferring in, he's been a great addition for this team.
Here's a high-hanging punt from Wilson. Taylor Morin signals for the fair catch. And with 32 seconds to go, it's a 35-yard punt. And Roddy, that brings us to tonight's trivia question.
And well timed.
Sam Hartman has the second most touchdown passes in ACC history. He's never led the league. Who are the other two members of the top 10 not to lead the ACC in TD passes in a season?
You gotta be kidding me.
No.
Unbelievable.
It's a straight question. Hey, look, it's late in the year. We got to go with the A. This is like the PhD stuff now, okay?
Because not only do I have to know who's in the top 10, I have to know who they were in the league with that would have led the league. I mean, come on, this is impossible.
Here is a delay, and they're going to hand the ball to Cooley to start the drive. He'll pick up about 3. Never seen you get so fired up about the Aflac trivia question. It felt like you were fired up.
How in the world am I supposed to know?
Well, you know Phillip Rivers, Sam Hartman in the top 10.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Tajh Boyd,
thank you.
Up there in the top 10, that's right. Yeah, that's where we are. Here is Hartman breaking away and across the 25, near a first down at the 26. And that'll be the final play of the third. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go to a commercial break.
Thank goodness, so I can get on Google.
Perhaps that's what you'd like to do. 3-point lead for the Blue Devils. We go to quarter 4 at the fabled Horseshoe in Durham. ACC Network football presented by Sub.
Going to go Ja'Cory Harris.
Oh, my goodness. Who told her the answer?
First down give is Cooley on 3rd and short. Now, the original spot from the far side indicates he has it.
A whole season in the ACC? I've got a wealth of knowledge.
Ja'Cory Harris being the name that you pull out is a deep cut.
Miami, look, I got it.
Hey.
Or we have a great producer, one of the two.
Atta girl.
Now, Roddy was all set to sell Russell Wilson.
Well, you set me up for that one. Wes got on Google in the break, by the way.
Here's Cooley and another first down run. Roddy, that makes Taylor the champion of tonight's Aflac trivia question.
100%.
But as you know, it's not her first title of the week.
Wow.
Because earlier this week, the Davis Thanksgiving Tournament of Champions was captured.
It was.
By Taylor Davis. Here's Sam Hartman on the carry, 45, diving to the 46-yard line. Roddy, did you realize that there was a said title at stake?
I still don't even know what's
Lower
involved
Alabama
there.
this week?
Taylor, are they just handing that out to anybody? What's up with that?
Look, the Turkey Trophy is now in my possession thanks to a round of kickball, a home run derby, and disc golf.
There you go, Roddy.
Athlete.
3-sport triumphant. Back after this.
At the Home Depot, we
Coughs it up. South Carolina recovers. They hold on to win. Back to you, Roddy and Wes.
Jordan, thanks. Sam Hartman throwing, and A.T. Perry, the closest guy in a gold helmet, but Brandon Johnson was the closest player on the field. So now all of a sudden, 1st and 10 becomes 2nd in the full 10, but Wade's got it, trailing 3. We're early in quarter 4, and Hartman needs 1 touchdown pass to tie the ACC career mark of Tajh Boyd. Here is Hartman. And that got batted around, incomplete. Dwayne Carter was pressuring. Looked like Michael Reese might have gotten a hand in the throw lane as well, the redshirt sophomore from Nashville.
Pretty awkward play. Sam Hartman, he changed his mind halfway through the throw, setting up a 3rd and long. Duke, if I had to guess, if you get to 4th and 4 or less, Duke's going to have to play 2 plays here, but looks like you're going to get man-to-man.
Wake's at 7 of 11 on 3rd down today.
I think Duke's going to back out of this and play some zone behind it, actually.
Here is Hartman from the pocket, clutches and throws and caught. And that's Blake Whiteheart, the tight end, for the first down to the Blue Devil 42.
They kept the 2 safeties over the top and played man underneath. It's a nice job of Whiteheart just boxing out and converting.
So here's Hartman quickly on 1st and 10 in Duke territory. Gonna launch. It's Donovan Green who makes the catch. Backing out of bounds inside the 10. at the 9.
Talked about the throw that Riley Leonard made earlier today. This is perfect by Sam Hartman. Joshua Pickett's all over Donovan Green. He just puts it right on the sideline. It lands on the back hip of Donovan Green.
21st time of 300 or more for Hartman. And Cooley got knocked back on the 1st and goal carry.
Talk about back shoulder throws all the time. How about back hip throws? Donovan Green has one hand on Joshua Pickett. The other just uses it to corral with the body. It's a great one-handed catch, a great throw. Pickett's in excellent coverage, but the throw beats him.
Here's Hartman in the gun now with Cooley. It is 2nd and goal in a 3-point game. And Hartman will zip it to the end zone, and he's tied the record on a touchdown pass to A.T. Perry. Wake goes in front on the 3rd touchdown pass of the day, 2nd and a half for Sam Hartman. Dennis to push the lead to 4. And he does. 23 of 35, 322, and his 3rd touchdown of the day, Roddy.
You can see fired up. Not so much about the record, but the fact that his team is now ahead. An outstanding career that he's had. Very deserving of tying the record, and he's going to have an opportunity to pass it.
35 scores for Hartman. Here's a end-over-end kick by Dennis, and that ball is fielded, and then Terry Moore got blasted on the return. Wake Forest got downfield and covered it nicely. And the Deacons put the Blue Devils right in the neighborhood of the 20-yard line. Jacoby Gilbert, a defensive back, made the stop for the Deeks. Ball at the 22 for Duke.
Deeks are a little fired up on that sideline.
Kick cover's been a tricky point today.
Yes, it has, but this Duke offense needs a response from its Superman right now, Riley Leonard. He's been fantastic today. Now's where he needs to come up the biggest.
Here is Leonard up in the pocket. Now he's going to run with it. Tries to get to the perimeter and will cross the 30 and be right at the mark for a 1st down. Quincy Bryant made the tackle. And they're going to spot him just shy of the 32, it looks like. So a run of 9 for Leonard, who, by the way, has thrown for 3 scores today, which gives him 30 combined touchdowns, 19 passing, 11 rushing. And with 3 minutes gone in the 4th, Wake Forest in a 4-point lead. Moore having a hard time getting started. Jaquez Moore. Or Jalen Coleman. It's 22 Coleman, not 20 Moore on the carry. Kendron Wayman the stop for Wake Forest.
Neither team has gotten much going on the ground today. I said that a number of times, but this is a Duke team that was one of the best rushing teams in the conference coming in. And while they've been able to do their damage through the air, this team is most comfortable doing what they did on that first drive, running the football, shortening the game, trying to get it going here on this drive.
Hagans to the far side, the tight end Finney in motion to the wing on that right for Leonard. And he'll hand to Coleman again. And Jalen Coleman tackled by Smenda and Williams for Wake Forest.
It's a nice job by Cole Finney. Getting up in there, throwing a nice block. There he is, right in the middle of your screen.
Yeah, Nicky Dalmolin not playing today for Duke at the tight end spot. Dalmolin actually leads the tight end group in receptions. He has 21 with 4 scores this year. Leonard a clap to get the play going. Far side throw. Calhoun covered up quickly. Martin in coverage out of the Wake secondary. Transfer from California of Pennsylvania, Roddy.
Really important open field tackle. It's been a bit of an issue for Wake today. Now you got a 3rd and short situation. I would not be surprised if Duke ran the ball here. Not only because of the distance, but also because you're in the territory where you may go for it here on 4th down.
Penny, the tight end, in motion again. Leonard hands to Coleman, finds a seam, and I think he got to the 44 and a first down.
Number 22.
A.J. Williams made the stop here, but Jalen Coleman picks up the yards.
Really nice physical play by this offensive line. You see Chance Lytle pulling from the backside. Cole Finney getting a block as well. Jalen Coleman, great patience to find the hole, let the block set up, and then finish the run across the sticks.
First and 10. Jordan Moore in motion from the bottom of your screen. Leonard, quick toss. Coleman trying to get to the field side. Flag thrown. That'll be a hold on the Blue Devils. The run picks up 7 to the Wake 49. But I think Lytle here. And also Graham Barton. The tackle might have been involved here. 4th penalty on the Blue Devils.
Yeah, you're going to see Graham Barton right here on the edge. He gets out there, and Ryan Smenda tries to kind of undercut him. He just gets up high, grabs that shoulder, and drags him down. And it negates a pretty decent gain on 1st down. Duke's done a pretty good job, though, of getting themselves out of these situations. There's been a number of holding penalties early in possessions or on 1st downs that have put them in 1st and long. Done a good job getting out of them.
They swap out Coleman for Jordan Waters now with Leonard in the backfield. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Leonard loops and overthrows Hagans. Ja'Cory Johns, the defensive end wearing number 4 for Wake Forest, had kind of peeled off, Roddy, into that flat area. And at 6'4" and 260, the former Cartersville Purple Hurricane was trying to make a play in the throw lane.
Yeah, it was a smart decision by Riley Leonard. Everything from a coverage standpoint took him back to the throw to the boundary, but because you dropped the defensive end underneath it, once he decided to go there, all he could do was throw it out of bounds. 2nd
down and 20 for the Blue Devils. Leonard shoots it down the field. Calhoun the catch, and a first down to the Wake Forest 44. And Jalen Calhoun's huge night continues.
I mean, how about this throw, though? This throw is absolutely on the number, literally on the number 5, as it hits Jalen Calhoun right in the stomach, ahead of the defenders getting there. This is a big-time delivery by Riley Leonard. Knows he's got a guy coming free, knows he's got to get the ball out, and then the strength of Calhoun to get the first down, impressive.
Career-high 26 completions tonight for Leonard, a big first down. We get a break in Durham.
At the Home Depot, we have the tools to make holiday
game as we rejoin you from Wallace Wade Stadium. Don't forget, later tonight, 2 editions of The Huddle. First one follows us prior to Pitt, Miami tonight at the Hard Rock. And then, Roddy, as you know, ACC Huddle after dark, man.
Look at the boys looking like a boy band.
Yep.
I mean, EJ in the middle looking like he's looking like Smokey Robinson in the middle.
So all that and more coming up after the ball game tonight. From Miami. Here's Leonard out of the break, overthrows. I think Jordan Moore was the intended receiver. Hagans was on a cross with him. By the way, it was Kalen Carson shaken up on the play for Wake Forest. He was able to make it off the field under his own power. And let's check in with Taylor Davis.
Yeah, guys, Jalen Calhoun was kind of shaken up on that hit as well. He is over here on the Duke sideline. He was in the huddle with his team, but he is not on the field right now. He's been walking very gingerly, definitely seems to be in some pain. I'll keep you updated if I see more.
All right. These 2 quarterbacks are combined 50 of 70, Roddy, for 633 yards.
It's been 2 monstrous performances.
Here is Jordan Waters on the 2nd and 10 give from Leonard. He'll get 3 to the 41. So 3rd down coming up. And coming up to about 8 minutes to go here in the ball game. Wake Forest has won the last 3, 4 of 5. Wake's won 8 of 9. in Durham since 2000.
And Jalen Calhoun back on the field. There he is.
You see the 10 catches, the 144. Think about Jordan Moore last week. It's Jalen Calhoun's turn tonight, huh?
Yep.
Double-figure night. There's Calhoun in motion. 3rd down. 7 to go. Leonard dances away. Now we'll run with it. Lower the shoulder and drive to the 34, and I think that's enough to pick it up, and it is. You wondered about when he was going to run, Roddy.
Well, when they've needed him the most, he has. And Kevin John said, look, he's got a middle linebacker mentality. There was no doubt what was going to happen there. Riley Leonard was going to put his head down and get that first down. And his legs have been big. And they've kind of gone away from Sminda spying him, which was very effective. But when you go with that, you take either a guy out of zone coverage. You don't want to do that. So you got to go man-to-man on the outside. And this Duke team has absolutely torched Wake Forest in man-to-man. Riley Leonard making them pay.
Duke's got 107 yards of rushing. They came in averaging 191 a game. Leonard from the pocket again. Wake tried to close it, and he snuck through the door. 20, 15, there's a flag down. Leonard will score. We'll see if it stands. Riley Leonard just went 34 yards, but I think it's coming back.
Holding, offense, number 62. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
They got Graham Barton again on the hold. First off, I think it's fair to marvel at the athleticism of Riley Leonard, but Graham Barton there on the left side, he just gets up too high. Hand placement's all wrong. He gets his arm wrapped around the neck of Jasheen Davis, and that hold was, the hold happened when we saw it, before Riley Leonard even took off, and these Duke fans aren't going to be happy about it, but, that's a hold. It's a good call by this crew. Once again, it takes points off the board. You see how explosive Riley Leonard can be, but frustrating penalties really hurting Duke on this drive.
5 penalties, 45 yards on the Blue Devils. 6:37 to go in the game, and now all of a sudden 1st and 20 from the Wake 44. Empty set for Leonard. Quick throw to the perimeter here on the near side. Jordan Moore going to get 4 before Kalen Carnes makes the stop. Roddy, where are you on clock here if you're Mike Elko?
You're fine, because the most important thing is points. So you're not as worried about the clock. Once you get under 4 minutes, maybe you start to consider that you may need another possession. But right now, you're worried about putting the ball in the end zone, and you'll figure out the clock on the other end.
6 minutes to go. Here's Leonard. And Coleman runs right into Tyler Williams. So all of a sudden, Wake's front, maybe to get a little bit of a toehold here.
This is almost certainly 4-down territory for Mike Elko. So if you're Kevin Johns, you're trying to get 10 yards, trying to get to a 4th and 4.
Deacons in the nickel, Roddy. Calhoun in motion. He's had a huge night. And so has Leonard. Here's Riley to his left, waiting on things. Downfield throw, and it's broken up. What a play by Gavin Holmes on a ball intended for Jordan Moore.
Yeah, the throw was there earlier in the down, and then Riley Leonard kind of lays it up and lets Holmes make a play on the football to knock it away. And now the question is, if you're Mike Elko, do you go for it here? They're leaving the offense on the field right now. 4th and 14. If you punt it away, you're going to need a stop. You're going to need a stop here anyway, so it's almost a no-brainer of a decision.
Duke's 58%, 34th nationally. They are 3rd in the ACC. Leonard throws, deep ball, Hagans there, and it is intercepted. Martin has come away with his first pick.
Ruling on the field is a touchback.
Jamal Martin. Heck of a play, Roddy.
The ball's underthrown, but you have to make a play on it. And Martin does just that. Gives Wake the ball, up 4. 5 minutes left.
What tools?
Tucky, 2 minutes left. Louisville driving, trailing by 13. Last chance. Jordan, love it with the interception. I, for one, do not love it. That would seal the game. Kentucky goes on to win. Back to you, Wes and Roddy.
Sam Hartman and Wake Forest up 4. 5 minutes to go. Christian Turner, a yard and a step on first down. Let's go. Hartman is a touchdown away from setting the career record for TD throws. Tied with Tajh Boyd on his last one. And he's doing it tonight. You see the tape on the little finger of the right hand. Here is Sam to Whiteheart. That'll be near a first down, just shy of the 30. Dillon the tackle. Let's check with Taylor.
Yeah, Wes, like you mentioned, that tape on Sam's right pinky, he's actually been playing with it the entire game because he hit his finger on a helmet in last week's game against Syracuse. It's been bothering him throughout the week, so they decided to tape it up. The tape goes around his wrist and down his pinky finger. They adjusted it at halftime. He's played through it, but honestly, it fits his story. This guy has played through so many injuries and issues throughout the course of his career. If he hits this record while down a pinky, it won't surprise me.
They're going to hand the ball, and bouncing to the outside is Turner, and he falls across the 30 to the 32. An important third down conversion for Wake Forest, Roddy, as we get inside of 4 minutes.
Huge third down conversion. And look at the effort by Christian Turner. Looked like Jalen Stinson had him wrapped up. Sorry, it was Datron Young that had him wrapped up. But the ability to spin and push forward, fall across the line, that's huge for Wake Forest. Now they're going to go into 4-minute mode. They're going to drain the clock as much as they can between each snap of the football. Duke's defense needs a stop. The sooner the better.
Here is Hartman on first down, and the hand again is Turner, I believe. And into the fray. And Duke has taken the timeout. First of the 3 for
First charge timeout.
You would imagine that in this situation, this benefits if Wake is committed to running the football. This Duke defense has actually been pretty good against the run for the majority of the season. Their overall numbers aren't great. Excuse me, the overall numbers are very good. 4th in the ACC in rush defense. Yards per carry, they're 5th. So this defense has been pretty good against stopping the run. The question is, if you're Wake Forest, do you try and sneak a pass in here? Maybe the second down would be the opportunity to do it, a short pass with an opportunity to run. But Sam Hartman has certainly been fantastic today. Put the ball in danger a couple of times, but the touchdown passes that he has, 3 of them tied the ACC record for passing touchdowns in a career. That first one was to A.T. Perry. The first one was to Donovan Green. Second one to Taylor Morin. And the third, an ACC record tying, was to A.T. Perry. In large part, he's been pretty sharp today.
You see the 24-36 numbers tonight for Hartman. Pressure coming. Sam shoots it middle of the field. And that is Morin holding on. He'll be shy of the first down, so it'll be 3rd and about 2 for the Deacs. And Mike Elko punches the second timeout, I believe, with 3:09 to play, leaving him just 1 to go. And Roddy, it's going to come down to a 3rd and 2 here. And again, you were talking about Duke playing the run well. Now all of a sudden, can Wake get them in a spot where they can have a two-way here, either run it or throw it?
Yeah, I would think if you're Wake Forest, you're going with your best 2-yard play, regardless of run or throw.
Yeah.
If they do decide to run it, watch Sam Hartman's legs. They aren't used very often, but they do break them out every once in a while on a zone read or a design quarterback run. They'll run a quarterback power. You get an extra hat in the run game with Duke selling out to stop it. That may be the run play that you go with.
How much of their formation set do they create tendencies with for the defense?
They certainly do. In these situations, they really like to condense formations. Receivers, tight ends close so they can get those crack blocks, those angles, more bodies around. A.T. Perry one-on-one to the bottom, though, as well.
Here's Wake Forest looking at 3rd down. Hartman now in the pocket, in trouble, and will be sacked. Hayward and Carter both back there for the Blue Devils.
Wes, going back to the second down play, they had pressure before Hartman was able to find Taylor Moore, and there, Dwayne Carter gets in the backfield and sacks the quarterback. It's a really nice job on that third down. So it's interesting. Wake decided to go pass on second down. There was pressure and Moore, and Hartman was able to deliver it. Third down, he wasn't able to find anybody.
And now all of a sudden, Dave Clausen's run out to the numbers. Duke called its last time out. The clock with 3:04 to go. I don't know that we had any official signal of a timeout, but
there was. It was in all the hubbub.
Right.
There's quite a brouhaha going on down there.
Yep. So the timeout got called. Dave Clausen called his punt unit. Now remember, this is Matthew Dennis, the place kicker, who's been called on to punt. Ivan Mora and Zach Murphy both unable to go tonight, the 1 and 2 punters on the roster. And now you've got Calhoun, who's having a night, standing at the 25 in a 4-point game. Dennis to the far side of the field, and it will take a bit of a Wake bounce toward the 35. And that's where they will spot it for play for Riley Leonard. 32-yard punt. And now, here's the ball game, Roddy. Remember, this is Mike Elko, who's got 4 losses by a combined total of 16 points.
Yeah.
That's it.
And no timeouts down the stretch here. There's often a debate on whether or not you keep a timeout in your pocket. The time, honestly, is the most valuable thing. So had he decided to keep a timeout, he's probably around 220 right now with a timeout. It's different views. Let's see if Duke's able to get it done.
Touchdown or nothing for the Blue Devils here in the final 2:57. Leonard, long throw. Moore had a shot at it, got broken up. Carson over there to defend, and a flag has been thrown.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Oh, roughing the passer on Wake Forest, as you see the tight fits in Elko's first year.
Wow, what a mistake by Wake Forest, roughing the passer. See the ball's thrown.
Yeah, big Tyler Williams, huh?
Yeah, I think that's borderline. I'm not sure that you throw the flag on that one. I mean, yes, the ball was clearly gone, but I didn't think the hit was egregious. I don't know that I completely agree with that one.
Ball at midfield, 2:52 to go. Riley Leonard, who's got his 3rd game of 300 yards or more. Looks left, loops it for Calhoun. Caught, 25, and stepped out of bounds near the 20. Wow, what a throw by Leonard, Roddy.
It's a great throw. I mean, you get a clear out and a corner behind it, and Riley Leonard gets it over the linebacker Smenda and on the sideline. And now Duke is in business, roughing the passer, a long pass play. Now 2:34 and running. Now you're under 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Now Duke can go to its normal tempo. You're not worried about going fast here. You're actually trying while you have to get in the end zone. You're trying to take time off the clock as well.
Another big throw by Leonard. And now all of a sudden Duke on the edge of the red zone. Wake bringing pressure. Leonard cuts it loose for Hagans. In the corner. Did he catch it? He did. Sahmir Hagans.
Time and time again, Riley Leonard has showed up for this Duke team. Pressure in his face, puts it up. And how about Sahmir Hagans? Contested catch, a tough one where he's jumping up. The ball's down near his waist, and he's able to bring it in. This Duke team just will not go away. The defensive stop took advantage of a call on this drive. Put the ball in the end zone.
2 plays, 65 yards in 53 seconds. Polino to make it a 3-point game. And there's the kick. Sahmir Hagans, another touchdown catch. But, Roddy, let's go back to the sequence here.
This was the call, the roughing the passer. I mean, that was the first play of the drive, 15-yard penalty. Then it was a long pass down the sideline to Jalen Calhoun that set him up. And then on a first down play, Wake Forest decides to bring pressure. Riley Leonard stares down the barrel and throws it to the end zone. Sahmir Hagans with a great catch in the end zone. Duke with surgical precision moving down the field, but there is an eternity of time left on the clock. Wake Forest all 3 timeouts, 2 minutes, 4 seconds, with an opportunity to drive down, tie it with the field goal, win it with a touchdown. Sam Hartman, 1 away from the ACC record for touchdowns in a career. Boy, would they love to have it on this drive.
So while Hartman goes for the legacy numbers, Riley Leonard has set career highs tonight in completions with 28, yards with 365, and touchdowns, Roddy, with 4 in a single game. There'll be no return by Williams, and Wake will start from its 25, and the Deacons have all 3 timeouts in 2:04.
They have plenty of time. And then in their normal operation, they go fast. This will be no different from what they do normally. And look at the quarterback battle we've got today. I mean, Sam Hartman, the old veteran, comes in and just performs 336 and 3. And Riley Leonard, the young upstart, matches him shot for shot. That interception came on a 4th down heave.
So here is Hartman with Justice Ellison, a tight end, and 3 receivers. First down play. Sam to Whitehart, the tight end, and a first down to the 36. Under 2 minutes to go on the Dillon tackle.
Now that we're under 2 minutes, the clock will stop for good when a player goes out of bounds. That's not the case above 2 minutes. But again, all 3 timeouts, so much time left for Wake.
Snap to Hartman again. Sam now looks, resets, and just off the hands of Perry near midfield.
Saw Rob Smith, the defensive coordinator for Duke, dialing up a little bit of pressure. They've had some success with the two-man coverage, 2 safeties back deep, mainly to contend with A.T. Perry and Donovan Green over the top, and then sending pressure ahead of it, trying to get to Sam Hartman.
Second in the full 10 here for the Deacons. Hartman in trouble. Now going to throw, looking for Whitehart, and just off the fingertips. Johnson was in coverage. Hartman was going down under the pressure of Chandler Rivers out of the Duke secondary.
It's actually an incredible job by Sam Hartman of giving his tight end a chance. The pressure ends up getting to him. Yeah, Rivers wrapped around his waist, and he's able to sling it 35 yards down the field. Look like Whitehart just couldn't quite judge this thing. Oh, just a little bit out of the fingertips.
Third in the full 10. Here is Hartman. Pressure coming again. He'll move to his right, throw, and incomplete. He had Keyshawn Williams and Donovan Green both in front of the Duke bench.
But the pressure on this drive has been all over Sam Hartman. And that's been an area that teams have been able to get after Wake Forest in that offensive line. Donovan Green couldn't quite bring it in. And now you've got 4th down. What does Wake dial up? Going to go 1 receiver down to the field. That's Donovan Green. He's singled up. It looks like right now from the shell that you're going to get man-to-man coverage with 1 safety deep, but Duke has dropped out of this a number of times.
Here is Hartman. Pressure coming again. To his left, turns, going to throw. Perry, the intended receiver, and he can't hang on, and it's intercepted. Darius Joyner.
What a play down the field by Darius Joyner. The question is, was it pass interference? Chandler Rivers, gets beat, turns around at the last minute. I like the no call there. I'm going to be honest. Chandler Rivers doesn't turn around to play the ball, but A.T. Perry goes up. His athleticism actually probably hurts the sell of that pass interference as he's able to go over the top of Rivers. Gets his hands on it, can't quite bring it in. Duke sideline fired up. The game's not over, though. Wake still has all 3 timeouts. So if they can get a stop here, they'll get their offense the ball back.
Ball at the 22 for Leonard. Dave Clawson, all 3 timeouts, as Roddy said. And there is Smenda tackling Coleman after a gain of about 2, and there's the first Deacon timeout with 1:16 to go.
Sam Hartman frustrated. I mean, A.T. Perry beat Rivers. The ball a little underthrown, but he also had another receiver as he rolled out that was right at the sticks that he could have gone to for a surefire first down. I don't hate the decision, though. I mean, A.T. Perry's got him beat deep. It's A.T. Perry. So let's go back to that interception. Going to see Perry take off, but look right here. I mean, it's wide open right at the sticks, decides to go deep, and you can't fault him with what he's seeing. A.T. Perry's behind Rivers, Joyner's coming from a long way away, and here's the top of the route. Rivers tries to come back and turn around. No call on the field. Ends up in an interception. But again, with the timeouts, Wake will have the ball back with plenty of time if they can get a stop.
Here is Leonard. Play fake to Coleman. Riley wants to throw. It's caught in stride. Hagans across midfield. Into Wake territory goes Sahmir Hagans. Gavin Holmes makes the stop. Hagans is shaken up on the play. And with 71 seconds left to go, the clock starts again.
It's a great call by Kevin Johns and a great clearance of the call by Mike Elko. If you're going to decide to throw the ball in that situation, that goes through the head coach. And the head coach decides, hey, let's sling it. Let's go ahead and try and put a nail in this thing. Riley Leonard, little flash fake with Kobe Turner in his face, delivers an accurate ball to Sahmir Hagans, basically puts this game on ice.
Leonard 9 yards from 400 passing tonight. Here's Coleman, and he will skip through. The second timeout for Wake Forest comes with 39 seconds left.
Yeah, it's an exercise in futility. I mean, the game's over at this point.
30 seconds.
Wake's got one more timeout, but the clock is under 40 seconds, so you can just kneel this thing out from here on.
Yep.
And that'll be it.
And along the way tonight, Roddy, we said kind of like the new star, the red shirt sophomore, if you will. Here's Riley Leonard, who had 1 career start prior to this year. He's kind of been building as the year's gone on. And now all of a sudden, Sam Hartman ties a legacy record with Tajh Boyd tonight in terms of career touchdowns. I don't want to say it's a passing of the torch because both guys are terrific players in this league and both will get postseason games. But boy, Leonard is closing in on a 400-yard day, and he has kind of made all the big throws tonight for Duke.
This year was the year of the quarterback in the ACC. It has not lived up to that, but I think this game is sort of indicative of what's happening in the league. A young crop of quarterbacks emerging. Riley Leonard, a big part of that.
There's the final Wake timeout with 34 seconds left after Coleman's tackled.
Third and final timeout.
And Dave Clawson,
Wake Forest,
as Roddy said, knows there's another snap of the football here. By the way, that guy's 15th.
I'm not sure why Duke wasn't just taking knees there, to be honest with you.
That guy's 15th in wins by active coaches coming into tonight.
Dave Clawson's done an excellent job, and the fact that they're going to end the regular season 7-5. If you'd have said, hey, a decade ago, Wake Forest, you're going to be 7-5 at the end of a season, they would have jumped for joy and thrown parties. Dave Clawson has raised the standard of this program to the point where 7-5 feels like a disappointment. And his team will have an opportunity in a postseason game. This season has not gone the way that they anticipated that it would, but it doesn't take away from the job that Dave Clawson has done at Wake Forest and the job the team has done this year.
And how about the work, and here's the kneel for Riley Leonard, how about the work of Mike Elko, who tonight ties Fred Goldsmith, who went 8-4 and 5-3 in 1994. In his first year as Duke's head coach.
The job he's done is unbelievable. And he told us coming in, we've beaten the teams that we're supposed to beat. It's time for us to get a win against a quality program, a program that's one of the markers in this league And they've done that here today. The performance by Riley Leonard, you can see the respect between the old bull and the young calf. But Riley Leonard was fantastic today. He has been the heart and soul of this Duke team, and they really put it on him today. It wasn't about the run game. It was about his arm, and boy, was his arm special.
Wow, what a night for the Blue Devils, who finished the regular season 8-4. Taylor, they've